Mendel's law. So in Mendel there are three different laws. We'll discuss one by one. In the previous classes I have discussed about the face cross and the back cross. So in today's lecture I'll discuss about the three different laws of Mendel given. Alright. So here the entire lecture. So without any delay, let's start with the topic Mendel's law from the chapter Heredity and Evolution. So let's start. So from the topic Mendel's law, you can see the right hand side Mendel figure has been given. So here we'll discuss the details about three laws of Mendel. So the first law is law of dominance, and second law is law of segregation, and the third law is law of independent assortment. So there are three laws of Mendel. Again I repeat, the first law is law of dominance, second law of segregation, third law of independent assortment. Now what is law of dominance? See, law of dominance means that particular trait will be superior than that of other. Clear? Like for each characteristics of an organism inherit two alleles, one from each parent, isn't it? So there are two conditions. One is homozygous state and is heterozygous state. So you know from the earlier lectures, these definitions I have already taught. When the two alleles are identical, then it is called homozygous, and if the two alleles are different, it is called heterozygous. Like homozygous example is capital T for tall, or small t for dwarfness. Clear? Similarly, example of heterozygous, like example capital T small t, this is a hybrid tall. Clear? So capital T small t, it becomes the phenotype tall because here T is dominant. Clear? So the law of dominance, if two alleles of an inherited pair differ, the dominant allele determines the organism's appearance. Clear? That means because example capital T small t, here T is for tall, capital T is for tall and small t is for dwarfness, but the phenotype that will be produced will be a tall plant because here capital T is dominant over small t. Clear? So the recessive allele has no noticeable effect on the organism's appearance. So you can see the example of law of dominance as I have stated just now. See, in monohybrid cross, we see one tall plant is crossed with a dwarf plant, isn't it? So tall plant is capital T, and the dwarf plant is small t. So the gametes will come out from capital T, one capital T will come, and from small t, one small t will come. Clear? So capital T and small t forms the F1 hybrid product. Clear? So these are the parents. So this is what a law of dominance is, because here the F1 hybrid that is produced is capital T small t. So it is not a dwarf plant, it is a tall plant, but still there is a capital T and small t. Both the characters are there, but it will show the phenotypic expression of only tall because capital T is dominant over small t. So this is what the law of dominance means. Next, so the definition of segregation, you can see law of segregation. The two alleles for a heritable character separate or segregate during gamete formation and end up different gametes. Alright, so what does segregation mean? Segregation means they are present together, they will be just separated. Alright, so what does segregation means? Like in F1 hybrid we find capital T and small t, isn't it? So the phenotypic expression is tall, but the genotype is hybrid tall. But when they are selfed, that means when the self crossing is done, we'll see that this capital T and small t separates out during the gamete formation, and this is what a law of segregation is all about. So you can see the example given out here. See, for like in monohybrid cross, the first one, you know, if I have already taught in monohybrid cross, like parent and two parents, male and female, dominant and recessive, are crossed. One is tall and one is dwarf, and the F1 hybrid that is produced is tall. That is the law of dominance. But now the segregation part comes. Clear? Like when I do the selfing of this F1 hybrid, the tall plant, now see in the last line here, the capital T small t is separated separately. Capital T is separated and separately small t is separated. No mixing is there. So this is what a law of segregation is. Alright. So next is law of independent assortment given by Mendel. Independent assortment means the gametes will be mixed independently. No compulsion is there, like this gamete has to be mixed with this trait has to be mixed with this. Clear? So definition: the principle that governs heredity was discovered by a monk named George Mendel in 1860. One of these principles, now called Mendel's law of independent assortment, it states that Mendel's law of independent assortment states that allele pair separate independently during formation of gametes. This means that traits are transmitted to the offspring independently from one another. That means no gametes, no traits. Clear? They are like no gametes and no traits have a compulsion like they have to mix with this only. So random sampling has been done. Clear? Any gamete or any trait can mix with another independently. So in a law of independent assortment, you can see one example I have given. So I have said in law of independent assortment at least two character has to be done. So it is only possible in dihybrid cross. Alright. So law of independent assortment is only possible in dihybrid cross because two characters needed. So here they have taken color and shape. Color is yellow, one contrasting color character they have taken yellow, another is green, another for shape they have taken wrinkle and round. Clear? So we know from the dihybrid cross that when F1 hybrid this crosses with another F1, these are the four generations that will be produced, isn't it? So you can see four gametes are produced, top side 4, Y are this 4, and left side 4 are there. So total 16 progenies will be formed, and the F2 dihybrid cross phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1, isn't it? So the gametes that are produced from one offspring, that is capital Y, small y, capital R and small r, they independently assort and produced 4 different combinations, like capital Y mixes with capital R, capital Y mixes with small y mixes with capital R, and small y mixes with small r. So no compulsion is there that they has to mix with this only. Random sampling is done, anyone can mix with anyone. So this is what an independent assortment means. Clear? So now from the homework questions we'll know. The first one is what are the 3 laws of Mendel? You'll write what are the 3 different laws of Mendel. Then you have to define law of dominance with one example, law of segregation with one example, law of independent assortment with one example. Clear? So thank you, students. So this is all about today's lecture. Here I have discussed about Mendel's law, 3 different Mendel's law. First one is law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. Hope you like this video lecture. Watch the entire lecture to get benefited out of it. Clear? So next day again we'll meet. So stay at home and stay safe. Thank you, students.